Morris, what about all those videos and movies? And I know he has a lot of unreleased songs, but back around when you were hanging out in Paisley Park in the 90s, you know, I think he recorded a lot of movies and videos and things like that. Are you surprised that more of them didn't get released? And do you think we'll eventually see more of those?
No, I'm not surprised actually, because I remember asking him, I remember one time we were in a car and he said, I got these tracks, gotta let you hear. It's like 5 songs of like Purple Rain era songs. And he was talking about these tracks are hotter than Purple Rain. And I'm like, man, get out of here, dude. That's the zenith of your career. That's the biggest record. And you tell me you got something hotter than that I ain't heard of? I was like, get out of here, dude. He proceeds to put on these 5 songs and unpeel my scalp. And I was just sitting there going, oh my God, Prince, you got to put this out. You got to put this out like now. I mean, we were kind of going through that little lull where it wasn't a lot of happening. We just like could use a hit right now. And it's like, dude, I'm like, we'll be back on top. You got to put this out. This is like crazy. He said, nope. I'm like, well, why? Like, why? He's like, oh, this is going to be for my kids. I'm like, you don't have no kids. You don't have any kids. What are you talking about? He's like, well, you know, eventually. And I'm like, dude, and I was so flabbergasted because I'm like, because I didn't believe him, honestly. I'm like, you don't have better than Purple Rain in there because that was the biggest record you ever did. And you're telling me this whoops that hands down. I'm like, I ain't buying that one, dude. And he put them on and I'm swearing, I said, oh my God, he was right. And I don't know, I heard it only once. And I've heard a lot of bootlegs prior and after. And I only heard it once. And I was just like, oh my God, you got more where this came from in the vault? I said, like, oh my God, that's crazy. He said, yeah, this is a legacy for my kids. They'll have something to put out when I'm done and they can put it out. And I was just like, oh my God, dude, this is bananas. Because all I was thinking about, we got to put it out now. And he's like, no, we ain't putting it out. And I was like, this is crazy. So yes, there's videos, there's movies, there's songs, there's all kinds of stuff in there. And he deliberately didn't want some of that stuff out because he said it was just like for my kids. This is my legacy I'm leaving for them. And then they will, you know, they'll have something. And I was like, dude, phew. I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, man, I know there's another movie that Senator Homry did. And there's stuff that he shot, there's rehearsals. I mean, they can release stuff out of there for the next 100 years, man. It's like it's enough stuff in there between them because he recorded everything, man. He recorded everything. We recorded all the shows, multi-track. We recorded the show's video, and you got 20-something years of that, all in the vault. Come on, man. And everything's different. Like when you go from show to show because he just nuances everything. I'm like, dude, that's crazy to me. So I believe that there are some cool things that's in the vault. I believe there's a lot of music in there that I would certainly like to see. I don't think some stuff is completed. I wouldn't want to see just go willy-nilly coming out that's not ready for prime time if it's something that I don't think he would approve of. And I would hope that stuff just kind of stays on the shelf. But I think there's enough polished stuff and enough things in there. I would really hope that the estate would get some of us to help them curate some of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of us who kind of like new Prince work with him, and I would hope that they would put a collective of people around that knew him, that knew the music, and just knew some of these things that he would say, because he would say stuff to me, but he would say stuff to all the other musicians. They have their own perspective of what he would tell them, and I'd like to get together personally. If the family decided that's what they wanted to do, I would be at their service to give them whatever 2 cents I know about it and whatever he told me. And I'm sure that any of the other musicians would do the same. Andre Simone, Mark Brown, and just some of the other people that worked with him, that was close to him, especially like Levi and the ones that worked with him on a production level, Kurt, different ones that worked with him on a production level, that he would have those kind of conversations with. And so I would hope that they would just put a panel of people together that could really just come together and just like decide like, hey, this is one of the best ways to disseminate this and get it out in such a way that it sounds great. The mixes are polished, the mastering is all nice, and everything sounds great, and it's just not just willy-nilly. I would hope that would be the case, you know. And my thing is like, you know, if they needed my service, I'd be more than happy to help wherever I could. And I'm sure everybody else would be too.
That's the dream, the big dream. You know, I'm always just amazed because I have seen so many shows and heard so many songs, and then there's something else that pops up, and it's like, man, there's still always something new that I haven't been exposed to before, and it's always something great. So it's just astounding.